Namaste, beautiful. Welcome to this 1-hour Vinyasa Yoga class for beginners. Before I say any more, I have a few things that I want to remind you of. Number one, there are chapters in this class and in all of my classes. So you may choose what to listen to, what to do, what to skip. You can make the class yours always. Yeah? Amazing. Number two, one of the best things about being able to practice yoga on the internet is that there's a class for everyone, for every circumstance, for every amount of time, for every feeling. There's a class for everything. Yeah? That being said, some classes are for some people and for some circumstances, for some feelings, whatever, and some classes are not. So I recommend before you start any class, whether it's mine or someone else's, to skim through it first to see that it is for you. Because the instance of doing a practice that makes the most sense for you in that moment is going to help you so much more than just a random class. Okay? So that's number two. And also, if you find yourself looking through my channel and you don't see something that you think would be the most helpful for you right now, feel free to let me know, and I will do my best to make one that will be good for you in whatever thing that you're going through, whatever thing that you're feeling or experiencing, whatever. Okay? I love doing that, so let me know. All right, number three, invest in yourself. Investing in yourself is going to teach your body, teach your mind that you are important to you, and the benefits of that are infinite. So if you're here on YouTube and you use it to practice yoga or work out or anything that you could benefit most from being able to do it all the way through, invest in a subscription to YouTube. Yeah? Your entire being will thank you for it. And this goes right into everything. Right? If you invest in your health by buying healthy food, by joining a gym or anything, right? Money is energy, and putting it into things that matter to you really sends a message to yourself that you are doing that, and it is worth it. Always. Okay? Beautiful. Now, the class. So, like I said, this is a Vinyasa class. This is a beginner level Vinyasa class. So, I'm going to teach you about what Vinyasa means a little bit. So, it means one breath, one movement. So, when we are practicing in this kind of way, then we're using the breath and the movement combined to help us to be uniting our mind, body, and soul, right? Because that is ultimately what we're doing in yoga, is uniting our mind, body, and soul, right? So we're using the breath to do that, connecting it with the movement. Now, it can be hard to do that when you are just learning yoga because you haven't yet familiarized yourself with a lot of the postures. So for this specific class that I have created today, then we're using the same postures that I taught in my last beginner class. So I will link you there. In case you want further direction with the few postures that are included in this vinyasa flow, then you can go there and then you can familiarize yourself with them before doing this. You can also just try this and see how it goes. But if you do want further direction, that is there for you. Yeah. So it's just a few postures today and we're going to repeat it. I think that repetition can be so helpful for so many reasons, in part because your body begins to learn the movements, and when your body knows what the movements are, then it allows for your mind to relax more, and then you can really just be more present and not really thinking, right? Because if we don't know what's happening next and we're always doing something different, then we're really needing to use the mind to concentrate on, okay, what am I doing next? And, it can occupy a lot of space that can be used differently when you're just doing the same movements, right? So yeah, that's my reasoning for that. That's why I pretty much do all of my classes that way. Also, you can not repeat it if you don't want to, or if you don't have the time or whatever. That is totally up to you. Again, make it your own. Do what feels good. Always on the mat, off the mat, in life in general. Do what feels good for you. So yeah, that's my little introduction to Vinyasa, to the class. And with that being said, then we can go ahead and get started. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to address them. All right, let's get to it, yeah? All right, so we're going to start with some centering, and I'm going to give you a couple of different options for how you can be positioned during our centering. So you may choose based on your level of comfort, your level of flexibility, simply what you want to do right now. So option A is Shavasana. You can be lying down with your feet at the corners of the mat and your arms resting beside you. Nice relaxing position to start out with. Or option B, you can take your feet together and have your knees wide and be lying back. And option C, you can have your feet together and your knees wide, and you can lie onto a block. So this is just different levels of opening the hips, opening the heart for the centering part. Yeah, so again, whatever you choose is going to be perfect for you right now. Okay, so just know that when you make your choice, and once you have made your choice, go ahead and find some stillness there. So just breathing naturally. Let's bring the attention to the breath, so just observing the air entering the nostrils and exiting the nostrils. Let's imagine that that air is cleansing us. So we breathe in this cleansing air, and that does some cleaning inside the body, and then we breathe it out. It's literally what's happening, right? So just observe it happening. Maybe we can begin to find some gratitude for the instance of this happening, for the instance of breathing. Our breath is so powerful. So let's remind ourselves that no matter what happens in our practice or in our life, we can always come back to our breath. So we can always come back to what we are doing right now, observing the breath, feeling grateful for the breath, using it to remind us that we're alive, using it to remind us of the miracle of life. Now let's remember that whether or not we are focusing on our breath, it's going to continue. So we can go ahead and simply bring the focus to ourselves, to where we are in the room, to where we are in space. Pulling ourselves deeply into the present moment. And let's begin to move in the present moment. So if you have the block underneath your shoulder blades, you can go ahead and remove it. And so whatever position you were in, you can now go ahead and find Shavasana. So extending the legs out straight, allowing the hands to relax by the side. And you can either have your eyes closed here, or you can open them if you would prefer. We're just going to go ahead and circle out our ankles and our knees first. So we're going to hug our right knee up toward the chest. We're going to interlace the fingers and place them underneath our right hamstring. And then we're just going to circle out the ankle. So inhaling and circling up with the right ankle, and exhale and circle down. Let's do it 10 times. And being sure to be mindful of our left foot as well. So either flexing the left foot or pointing the left foot. And let's circle 3 more times. And then let's switch directions with the circling of the ankle, inhaling and circling the foot up, and exhaling and circling it down on the right foot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's switch legs. So straighten the right leg and take the left leg, hug it up to the chest, either pointing or flexing the right foot. You can be pointing the left foot or flexing it as well. And let's take some circles of our ankle. So inhaling, circle up with the left foot, and exhale down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If it's making sounds, that's totally fine. Mine is making sounds, and I've even already done this today. And switch directions. Inhale up and exhale down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, switch legs, straighten the left leg, and bend the right, interlace the fingers, place them underneath the right hamstring, pointing or flexing the feet, choose whichever you would prefer. And now we're going to go into the knees. So let's inhale and circle in with our right foot and up toward the ceiling, and then exhale as we come out and down. And we're going to do it 10 times. Inhale and exhale down. Inhale up, exhale 3, 4, make the circles as big as you can, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch directions. So inhale as you go out and up, and exhale as we come in and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, straighten the right leg. Bend the left, interlace the fingers, place them underneath the left hamstring, either pointing or flexing the toes. And here we go, circling in and up with an inhale and out and down with an exhale. 2, 3, 4. In my opinion, this is one of the most important things that I can teach you, period, in all of yoga, as far as the body goes. Super important. All right, let's switch directions. Inhale up and exhale down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beautiful. And straighten the left leg. Now hug both knees to the chest. And rocking back and forth for a second. And now we are going to use our momentum. So let's rock back, lift the hips up, and then rock forward and come all the way up to a seated position. Then place the hands down and take the legs behind us and come into a tabletop position. So we're going to get into the wrists, but first let's make sure that we are properly aligned, yeah? So our hands should be underneath our shoulders, shoulder width distance apart. Our knees should be underneath our hips, hip width distance apart. And our feet should be directly behind our knees. You can either have the feet tucked under to give you a little bit more stability, or you can have them untucked. It is up to you. And this goes for pretty much any time we're on our hands. What we want to be doing is we want to be trying to put most of the weight in the front of the hand. So in the top here and in the fingers. So if you want to bend your fingers so you can kind of grip better, then that is going to help to take some pressure off of your wrists and keep them safer. Yeah, so even though now what we're going to do is we're going to be circling out the wrists, still we want for most of our pressure to be in the front of the hand. Yeah? All right, so let's go ahead and circle the wrists. We're going to come forward. We're going to go to the right and forward with an inhale. And then we're going to exhale over to the left and back. And the bigger we can make it, the more we are also going into our knees here, since we are bending our knees, right? So let's keep going. 2. Inhale forward. Exhale back. 3. Inhale forward. Exhale back. 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. You can be bending your arms like I am, or you don't need to be bending my arms. Honestly, I bend my arms because otherwise the microphone gets in the way. 9, I think. 10. All right, if that's not 10, you can make it 10. All right, let's switch directions. And so now we're going to go over to the left and forward with an inhale, and to the right and back with an exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Now, since this is a vinyasa class, let's be a little bit wavy here as we're getting into our back, as we're doing our cat-cow. So instead of doing standard cat-cow, what we're going to do is we're going to come forward and round the spine as we inhale. And then we're going to stick the tailbone up, and we're going to arch the back. We're going to look up as we come back with an exhale. And we're going to keep going like that 10 times. So we're going to inhale forward, rounding the spine, coming over the wrists. And then we're going to exhale, stick the tailbone up, arch the back, and come back toward the feet. Inhale forward. Exhale, arch. Inhale, round. Exhale, arch. And again, you can either have your toes tucked here or untucked, whatever feels good for you. Inhale, round. Exhale, arch. I was not counting as usual because I was talking. Exhale, arch. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, arch. Inhale, round. Exhale, arch. Inhale, round. Exhale, arch the back, come all the way back, tuck the toes this time, and push your hips up and back into a downward facing dog. And let's stay in our downward dog for a few seconds, just finding our alignment, but also walking it out if you want. So if you are not super new to yoga and you've heard about walking out your dog, then you probably know what to do. Otherwise, if you want to listen to alignment, you can be making sure that still, well, we're putting most of the pressure in the tops of our hands, right? You should be able to kind of lift up the heels of the hand and it's not too much of a problem, yeah? So really paying attention to that. It's really going to help you as you progress in your practice and you're doing more and more and more stuff on your hands. Just getting into the practice of doing that is definitely useful, yeah? As far as the feet are hip width distance apart. Our heels are tucked behind our toes, so we shouldn't be able to see our heels, even if they are raised. So this is, of course, going to depend on our hamstring flexibility, whether the heels are up or if they are down. If the heels are raised, just be trying, to get them in the direction of the floor. And if they're not there yet, that's totally fine, right? It is all a journey. It's all a process. Practice and all is coming. All right. Our hips are up and back, and we are looking toward the navel. Our shoulders are away from our ears. Our armpits are looking toward each other. And we are here beautifully in our downward facing dog. And now we're going to come up to a standing position. So you can either just step forward and stand up, or if you want to do my fun little thing where we just very slowly walk one foot in front of the other, coming up onto the toes, just walking the ball of the feet in front of the other one. It kind of works the abs a little bit. It feels nice. Just kind of slowly move forward. And then once you get to the hands, you can go ahead and drop the heels down. If it's possible, you can go ahead and grab a hold of opposite elbows with your hands. Allow your head to descend down toward the floor. And you can rock back and forth. Just nice, relaxing little ragdoll here before we stand up and start moving a bit more. All right, allow the hands to come down to the floor. And with an inhale, go ahead and roll up to standing vertebrae by vertebrae, nice and slowly. The head coming up last, and dropping the shoulders down and back. Beautiful. All right, so since this is a Vinyasa class, I am going to teach you the first Vinyasa, Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. If you would like further guidance on how to do this, then I do have a separate class where I teach only this. Otherwise, go ahead and follow me. So what we mean by Vinyasa, as I said, is one breath and one movement. So we're breathing in and doing one thing and breathing out and doing another thing. Yeah? So really using the breath to move, to open, to flow can feel really amazing. So we're going to start with the basics here, and then we're going to continue to see if we can flow after we warm up a little bit. Yeah? So let's start with our feet such that our big toes are together and our heels are slightly apart. We have our hands at heart center. Shoulders are down, back is straight. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to bring the hands up to the ceiling. We're going to look at the hands. And then we're going to exhale. We're going to fold forward with a nice flat back, bringing the hands down to the floor, allowing the head to descend down toward the floor. Then we're going to inhale, we're going to look forward at the nose, bringing the head up, either touching the shins or coming to the fingertips. And then we're going to exhale, we're going to plant the hands onto the floor. We're going to step back with the right foot and back with the left foot. And then we're going to come all the way down, bending the arms into what is called chaturanga. Okay? And now we're going to inhale. You can untuck the toes and come into an upward facing dog. So upward facing dog, we want to make sure that our hips are lifted here. And you can either be squeezing the glutes or relaxing them depending on what feels best for you. We do want our hips lifted to make sure that we're not putting too much pressure on the back. Yeah? And then we're going to exhale. We're going to tuck our toes again. And then we're going to come back into downward dog. And then here we would hold for 5 breaths if we are taking a Ashtanga class. In a lot of my classes, I will begin by holding for 5 breaths, sometimes 3, sometimes 2, sometimes 1, sometimes 0. But coming to home, enjoying this little break here. And then we're going to inhale, we're going to look toward the hands, we're going to step forward with the right foot and with the left. Flatten the back again, look forward at the nose, coming to the fingertips or the shins. And then we're going to exhale, fold forward, allowing the head to go toward the floor, the hands are on the floor. And then inhale, we're going to roll all the way up to standing. Reach the hands up overhead, look at the hands, and exhale. Bring the hands to heart center. Let's try it on the other side. Here we go. Inhale, reach the hands up, look toward the hands. Exhale, fold forward, flatten the back, bring the hands down, bring the head down. Inhale, look forward, bring the chest up, come onto the fingertips. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back this time, the right foot to meet it, and come all the way down into chaturanga. This is one movement. Inhale, upward facing, hips are up off the floor. Exhale, tuck the toes, and come back to downward facing dog. And again, we can hold here for 5 breaths. Checking our alignment. So again, we're trying to make sure that our weight is in the front of our hands, that our hands are about shoulder width distance apart, our feet are hip width distance apart, our hips are up and back, we're looking toward the navel, our shoulders are away from the ears, our armpits are looking toward each other. And let's inhale, step the left foot forward, the right foot to meet it, flatten the back, come up onto the fingertips or touch the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we'll roll up to standing, reaching the hands up overhead and taking the hands to heart center. Let's do 2 more. So 1 more on each side, stepping back with right and then left again. Here we go. Let's see if we can do it 1 breath, 1 movement, a little bit faster this time. Inhale, arms up, look toward the hands. Exhale, forward fold, hands come down to the floor. Inhale, look forward, bring the chest up. Exhale, plant the hands, step back with the right, back with the left, come all the way down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, hips are lifted. Exhale, tuck the toes, push the hips back to downward facing. Hold for 5 breaths. Adjust your alignment as needed. See if you can remember what I told you about the alignment and check it yourself this time. Three. 2. 1. Inhale, step the right foot forward, step the left foot forward, flatten the back, come up onto the fingertips or touch the shins. Exhale, fold forward, hands planted, head comes down. Inhale, roll up to standing, reach the hands up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. One more time on the other side. Inhale, arms up, look toward the hands. Exhale, fold forward, hands come down toward the floor, head comes down toward the floor. Inhale, bring the chest up, bring the head up, look forward at the nose. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back, the right foot to meet it, come down to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, hips are lifted. Shoulders are back. Exhale, downward facing, and holding for 5 breaths. Nice and strong in our home position while also relaxed. Two. One. Inhale, step the left foot forward, step the right foot to meet it, flatten the back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, roll up to standing, reach the hands up overhead, look toward the hands. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Beautiful. Now we're going to try a little flow. So we're going to take a vinyasa to get to downward dog, and then we're going to flow from there. So now you know what that means. And this time, if you know how to jump or float back, you can go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you can step, and it doesn't matter which way you step. You can step with the right or step with the left, up to you. Yeah? Here we go. Inhale. Arms up. Look toward the hands. Exhale. Forward fold. Bring the head down. Bring the hands down. Inhale. Chest up. Look forward at the nose. Exhale. Plant the hands and move back to chaturanga. Inhale. Upward facing. Shoulders back. Exhale. Downward facing. Beautiful. Now we are going to do just a little flow. The first time we're going to do it not completely vinyasa style, then we're going to go through it a couple of times so that we have the opportunity to really get it down and practice what it feels like to move vinyasa. So here we go. We're going to inhale as we lift the right foot up. Come up high onto the left toes. We're going to exhale as we step our right foot between our hands. And then we're going to inhale as we come up into a high lunge. Exhale, find our high lunge, check our alignment, make sure our hips are square, make sure our ribs are in. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to begin to rotate over to the side of the mat, turning the left foot so it's perpendicular to the right. And then we're going to exhale and we're going to come into a warrior two. So checking that our hips are facing the side, checking that we have a nice right angle, checking that our right knee is not sinking in. Inhale. Straighten the right leg, step the left foot in slightly. And then we're going to exhale and come into a triangle pose. So let's do it in front with the right hand in front this time, looking up to the left, pulling back on the left hip. Inhale, come up, rotate to the front, take the hands behind the back, either holding onto the elbows, holding onto the hands, or putting the hands in reverse prayer. And then we're going to exhale and fold forward over the right leg into a pyramid position. Inhale, we're going to bring the hands down, bring the chest up like we did in our vinyasa. And then Exhale, we're going to step both feet together and come down into chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. So that's it. Okay, let's go ahead and try the other side. And try and make sure that you're paying attention to the movement, because next time we're going to do it vinyasa style, and then we're going to do it again. All right, here we go. Inhale, lift the left foot, come up onto the right toes. Exhale, step the left foot forward between the hands. Inhale, come up into high lunge, looking up at the hands, squaring out the hips. Exhale. Inhale, rotate over to the side, turning the right foot out so it's perpendicular to the left, finding our warrior two with an exhale. Inhale, straighten the left leg, step the right foot in. Exhale, come into triangle pose. Pulling back on the right hip, looking up toward the right hand. Inhale, stand up and rotate to the front, moving the back foot, so now it is 45 degrees, facing forwards, interlacing the fingers, or taking the hands to opposite elbows, or taking the hands into reverse prayer, and exhale over the left leg. Inhale, place the hands down, lift the chest up. Exhale, step back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Beautiful. Let's do it a couple more times and see if we can get that flow. Yeah? Here we go. Inhale, up onto the left toes, lift the right foot up. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands. Inhale, bring the hands up overhead, coming up into high lunge. Exhale. Inhale, rotate over to warrior two, rotating the back foot. Exhale into warrior two. Inhale, straighten the right leg, step the left foot forward. Exhale into triangle pose. Inhale, bring the upper body up, rotate to the front, and exhale into pyramid. Inhale, place the hands down, bring the chest up. Exhale, step back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Let's do the other side. Inhale, come up onto the toes, lift the left foot up. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Inhale, come up into high lunge, reaching the hands up, looking at the hands. Exhale. Inhale, rotate the back foot, rotate the upper body. Exhale, into warrior two. Inhale, straighten the left leg, step the right foot forward. Exhale, into triangle. Inhale, stand up, rotate toward the front of the room. Exhale, into pyramid. Inhale, bring the chest up, bring the hands down. Exhale, back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Beautiful. Let's do it 2 more times. Okay, here we go. Inhale, up onto the toes, lift the right foot up. Exhale, right foot steps between the hands. Inhale, up to high lunge. Exhale. Inhale, rotate over to the side. And exhale, settle into warrior two, looking over the right hand. Inhale, straighten the right leg, step the left leg in. Exhale, into triangle. Inhale, stand up, rotate toward the front of the room, take the hands behind the back, and exhale into pyramid. Inhale, bring the chest up, place the hands down. Exhale, back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Let's do the other side. Here we go. Inhale, up onto the toes. Lift the left foot up. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Inhale, up to high lunge. Exhale. Inhale, rotate the back foot, rotate the upper body. Exhale, settle into warrior two, looking over the left hand. Inhale, straighten the left leg, step the right foot forward. Exhale, into triangle. Inhale, stand up. Rotate toward the front of the room. Exhale, fold over the left leg. Inhale, place the hands down, lift the chest up. Exhale, back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Let's try it one more time. Here we go. Inhale, up onto the toes. Lift the right foot up. Exhale, place the right foot between the hands. Inhale, up to high lunge. Square the hips, look up at the hands. Exhale, woo! Inhale, rotate the back foot, rotate the upper body. Exhale, settle into warrior two. Inhale, straighten the right leg, step the left foot forward. Exhale, into triangle. Inhale, stand up and rotate toward the front. Take the hands behind the back. Exhale, pyramid. Inhale, plant the hands, bring the chest up. Exhale, step back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Other side. Inhale, come up onto the toes, lift the left foot up. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Inhale, square the hips, reach the hands up overhead. High lunge. Exhale. Inhale, rotate the back foot, rotate the upper body. Exhale, settle into warrior two. Inhale, straighten the left leg, step the right foot forward. Exhale, come into triangle. Inhale, stand up, rotate toward the front of the mat, take the hands behind the back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, plant the hands, bring the chest up. Exhale, back to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Beautiful. All right. Let's do just a couple of postures to help us cool down a little bit. And then we're going to find our Shavasana, and that will be that. All right, so this time let's inhale, come up onto the toes, lift the right foot up. Exhale, step the right foot between the hands. This time we're going to come all the way down into a low lunge. So we're going to bring the left knee down and the left back of the foot down if it feels comfortable. And we're just going to stretch out our lunge here. So I like to bounce to get a little bit of a deeper stretch here. So if you want to also bounce, you may do that as well. So of course we are no longer moving Vinyasa style now. This is just to open up a little bit more, stretch out anything that we might have just worked so that we don't have any super soreness in the body tomorrow. And let's go ahead and come back into a half split. So straightening the right leg. You can come up onto the heel if you want, and you can play around with how far away the foot is from your knee. So you can have a right angle here, you can have more, you can have less, whatever feels good in your right hamstring for now. And so again, you can be bouncing, you can kind of move the hips back and forth here. We're literally just stretching. So whatever feels good in your body at this moment. You can fold all the way forward over the front leg if it feels good. And let's again come forward into that low lunge. And now if we want to lift up our back leg. So with caution, please go ahead and bend the left foot. You can reach back with the right one, grab a hold of it, and gently allow that left foot to come down toward the glutes. And so you can either be up on your hand here, like we are right now. If you want, you can come into more of a lizard lunge, so you can walk the right foot out slightly. If you want, you can come down onto your left elbow. If you have the mobility here for a bit of a deeper stretch here. Whatever feels good for you in your quads, in your hips right now. Just stretching it all out. All right, and gently, without a slingshot, release the left foot down. Bring the hands down and step the right foot back into our downward dog. And now we're going to do the other side. So let's go ahead and inhale, come up onto the toes, lift the left foot up, and exhale, step the left foot forward, bringing the right knee down, bringing the right top of the foot down. Bring the hands onto the left knee and bouncing it out or not bouncing, whatever is your preference here. Just feeling the opening of that right hip flexor. Maybe you can feel it a little bit in your quads. All right, and let's move it back to half split. So straightening the left leg, lifting up the toes if you want. Again, you can either be completely back onto your foot here. You can have your left foot forward more. Whatever feels good for you and your hamstring and whatever other part of your body right now. And again, you can be bouncing, you can be twisting, you can be folding. Just whatever feels best for you in this moment. Another one of the most important things that I can teach you or impart upon you is to listen to your body and to pay attention to the way that it feels to move in different ways. Right? Because you are the master of your own body. Or you could be the master of your own body if you're not already. Right? And the way to get there is simply by paying attention to the way that every single thing feels. And then you get to know how it's going to feel. And you get to learn how to control how it feels, what it can do. Anyway. Let's come back forward into our low lunge again. And we're going to, again, lift up our right foot, reaching back with the left hand, and gently guiding the right foot down toward the right glutes. Again, you can be on your hand. You can walk out your left foot if you want. You can come down to the right elbow, forearm if you want. You can open up the left leg if you want. Whatever feels good for you. I say that even more in my classes for more experienced practitioners because, in my opinion, the more familiar you become with yoga, the more you are able to do what you want in a class to really make the class yours. Yeah. Safely. All right, and let's go ahead and come out. Place the hands down and step the left foot back to meet the right again. All right. And let's go ahead and come down onto the knees here. And let's come completely onto the back. Yeah. So rolling onto the back, let's go ahead and take the right foot and cross it over the left knee. And then we're going to bend the left knee up toward the body. We're going to interlace the fingers. We're going to place them onto the left shin, and then we're going to pull in with our hands, helping us bring our left leg toward the body. And again, you can either be static here or you can be rocking back and forth, whatever feels good. And let's go ahead and switch legs. So straightening them both, taking the left foot, crossing it over the right knee. Please make it slightly above the knee so you're not hurting your knee. And then bend the right knee. Interlace the fingers, bring them toward the right shin and pull in. And you can also be using your left elbow to push out the left knee if that feels good. Increasing that butt stretch there. And if you want, you can straighten the right leg as well. I do this for the purpose of stretching my glutes, and I find that keeping the leg bent actually gets more of a stretch in the glutes. But again, whatever feels good for you, do that. All right, let's go ahead and straighten out the legs, and let's take our recline twists, yeah? So let's take the knees, hug them to the chest, and slide the butt over to the right, bringing the hips down, bringing the knees down over to the left, and looking over toward the right. And so you can either stay here, or if you would like a little bit more of a stretch, if that doesn't feel quite enough for you, you can have your left leg straight and the right leg crosses over. You can use the left arm to help it down toward the floor. Please make sure that whichever variation you choose, that your right shoulder is down on the floor when we are in this position. And here you can be using the breath to relax. So using the inhale to find any tension that there might be in the body, and using the breath to exhale the tension out of the body. And let's bring it back to center. And again, you can either take both legs, so then you're going to send the hips over to the left, bring them down, bring the knees over to the right, and look over to the left. Or if you want more of a stretch, you can straighten the right leg and bring the left knee over using the right arm to hold it down, and making sure that we're bringing the left shoulder down to the floor in whichever variation we choose. Using the breath to get into any tension that is there. Inhaling to find the tension and exhaling to release it. Beautiful. And let's go ahead and come out. And let's take our Shavasana, yeah? Nice quick little class. So taking the feet out to the corners of the mat. If you want to be a proper traditional yogi, you can go ahead and face the other direction with your feet at the corners of the mat. Allow your hands to rest by the side. And begin to relax the entire body, starting with the tips of the toes. Relaxing the toe joints. Relaxing the tops of the feet and the soles of the feet. Relaxing the ankles. Relaxing the calves and the shins. Relaxing the knees and the backs of the knees. Relaxing the quads and the hamstrings. Relaxing the hips and the hip flexors. Relaxing the glutes and the secs. Relaxing the lower back and the lower navel. Relaxing the middle back and the middle belly. Relaxing the upper back, the chest, the ribs, the lungs, and the heart. Relaxing the shoulder blades and the shoulders. Relaxing the upper arms, the elbows and the insides of the elbows. Relaxing the forearms and the wrists, the palms of the hands and the backs of the hands. Relaxing the fingers, the knuckles, the fingertips. Relaxing the collarbone. Relaxing the neck and the back of the neck. Relaxing the jaw and the ears. Relaxing the mouth, the lips, the tongue, and the teeth. Relaxing the cheeks and the cheekbones. Relaxing the nose. Relaxing the eyes and the eyelids. Relaxing the eyebrows and the space between the eyebrows. Relaxing the forehead. Relaxing the back of the head. Relaxing the crown of the head. Reaching above the head and relaxing that space above it. Reaching outside the whole body and relaxing the aura. And resting deeply in this nice relaxed state. And with the next inhale, begin to call the self back to the body. Exhale. And let's begin to find some movement in the fingers and the toes, in the wrists and the ankles. And continuing to keep the eyes closed, reach the hands up overhead and the feet in the opposite direction. And inhale deeply. And exhale and sigh it out. Continuing to keep the eyes closed, roll over onto one side using the arm as a pillow underneath your head. And whenever you feel ready, continuing to keep the eyes closed, go ahead and come up to find a seated position. Taking the hands to the knees or to heart center. And just taking a little scan of the body, noticing how you feel. Noticing any sensations, any emotions. And take this time to, again, thank yourself for taking this time for yourself. Thank yourself for this yoga journey that you are on, for your dedication. Remind yourself that the path of yoga is everything. That whether you choose to step on your mat during a day or not, you can always be practicing yoga as long as your mind is deciding to do so. By being kind, by being grateful, by loving, you're practicing yoga. And whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and blink open the eyes. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for practicing with me, for allowing me to guide you, for trusting me. With so much love. Namaste.